Hello there, and welcome to this special episode of the stock market today. This was a talk that I did with a class of my nephew, Mojie Bernardo. Naimbitahan po tayo na magsalita tungkol sa stock market, the Philippine stock market, yung introduction po. So I used the same slides as I did in my first talk with batch 76, but I made a few updates. So this was held on March 2, 2023 at 10:15 a.m. Let's watch this.
So let's start our lecture for today. This is our speaker for today, Mr. Benjamin Chodoro. So Mr. Benjamin Chodoro graduated with an AB in economics degree from the UP College of Manila in 1980, while working as a researcher at Ayala Corporation and then as a credit investigator at Solid Bank. He pursued an accounting degree at the Far Eastern University, which he completed in 1984. He took and passed the CPA board exams also in the same year. He was a Treasury Services Officer at Citibank, Manila from 1984 to 1995 before transferring to PCI Bank, now BDO Unibank, where he worked as an Operations Officer, Compliance Officer, and Senior Anti-Money Laundering Officer. In August 2016, he was assigned to the BDO Hong Kong branch as Compliance Head. In July 2017, Mr. Chodoro was appointed Chief Compliance Officer of the BDO Private Bank, a position he held until his retirement in December 2019. He is presently a consultant at Chodoro Santa Maria and Company CPAs. He started investing in the Philippine stock market in 2007 and has a daily stock market blog on YouTube. He is married to Marisol Mariano of Maykawayan, Bulacan, and they are blessed with a son. Please welcome once again Mr. Benjamin Chodoro here to give us a talk on the stock market with emphasis on the Philippine stock market.
Hello, classmates. And it's my first time to talk to a class. No, the last time I talked about the stock market was with my batchmates in high school. That was a year ago. Before anything else, wait, that one. Can you see that?
Yes, you can see it.
Okay, first is how many of you have heard of the stock market? Anyone? Stock market, stocks. Anyone of you has an idea on what stocks are and the stock market is? Walang nakakalam? Or no idea whatsoever? Walang response yata, Moji? O meron bang?
Any responses from you guys?
So anyone may idea on, meron kayong idea on what the stock market is?
Put a thumbs up reaction if you have any idea about the stock market. Put an open mouth reaction if you don't.
Wala, no? So mukhang zero knowledge ang class on regarding the stock market. Anyway, let me put up my slides here. So what I'll be talking about is an introduction to the Philippine stock market. It's a very interesting topic since a lot of people make trading the stock market their living. Actually, you can earn money from the stock market. Now, let me give you an idea on what we will be talking about. And I suppose I'll be talking about an R. Then there will be some Q&A, no? So we'll be talking about what are stocks, what are the type of stocks, why do companies sell stocks, what is the PSE or the Philippine Stock Exchange and the Philippine Stock Exchange Index, what are the types of investors, how do I make money from stocks, what stocks should I buy, what are the risks in investing in stocks, and how do I start investing in stocks, and some Q&A, but perhaps I cannot finish all of this because these are very broad and I'll just give you the basics, no? But first, let me play a game, no? Can you identify the person in this picture? Anyone?
You're just smiling at it.
Hindi nila lang. Okay. That person is Jesse Livermore. He is the world's greatest stock trader. He is the pioneer of day trading, and he made millions of dollars while investing in Wall Street in the 1930s. No? This one, sino siya? You don't know who this person is? Or do you know who this person is?
I see them shaking their heads.
That's Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is the world's most successful stock investor. He is in his 80s already, no? And he is the fifth richest man in 2022 with a total net worth of $118 billion. And he made money by buying stocks of good companies, no? American to. And he traded the New York Stock Exchange. This one. Sure, you know this guy. Kaya tayo merong Microsoft, kaya tayo merong PowerPoint, kaya tayo merong Excel. It's because of this guy. Sino siya? Teka, hindi ko makita kasi I'm in...
They know who he
Oh,
is.
correct, no? That's Bill Gates. He is the founder of Microsoft. He is the fourth richest man in the world in 2022 with a net worth of $129 billion. So itong si Bill Gates started, he's a college dropout actually, and he started Microsoft in a garage. In 1984 or in 1990, he bought a platform from IBM called DOS or Disk Operating System. Yan yung platform na ngayon na ginagamit for Microsoft. And you know how much he bought? He bought that platform? $50,000. Dati kasi, yung mga sinaunang computers, floppy disk ang ginagamit o hindi nyo na naabutan yung floppy disk, ano? Sinasaksak yan sa loob ng lalagyan ng floppy disk, tapos niraran mo yung disk operating system ng IBM. So he bought that from IBM for $50,000 and he placed it in Microsoft. And then he was able to distribute that to your operating system now. This one.
I'm sure you also know this guy.
Do you know this guy? Oops, bakit nagkakaganito, Mojie? Hindi ko makita yung messages because I'm in... This is Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is the CEO and founder of Amazon. He's the second richest man in the world in 2022 with a net worth of 900 or $190.3 billion. This one. Kilala niyo ito.
Okay, yeah, please direct it to public chat so it doesn't interrupt anything. Okay, Kate said Elon Musk.
Correct. That's Elon Musk. He owns Tesla, SpaceX, and now Twitter, di ba? Nakakagulo yan sa Twitter. But he is the richest man in the world in 2022 with a net worth of $219 billion. Mag-local naman tayo. Sino siya?
And if you know, I
Dapat
think they're
kilala
shaking
niyo
their
yan.
heads again.
That's Manny Villar.
Okay,
He owns Vistaland. He is the second richest man in the Philippines. Alam niyo ba yun? Net worth of $7.8 billion. Ha? This one. Hindi niyo kilala yung mga mayayaman tao sa Pilipinas, ha? Anyone? Siya si Ramon Ang. He's the ninth richest man in the Philippines. He owns San Miguel Food and Beverage. He is also into power, SMC Global Power. Yung Skyway na dinadaanan ninyo, SMC yan. San Miguel. His net worth is $2.45 billion. This person, sino siya?
they're saying Ayala.
Good try, but it's not Ayala.
Someone
This
also
is
says. Oh yeah,
Enrique
someone got it.
Razon.
Enrique Razon.
Enrique Razon. He's the third richest man in the Philippines. He owns international container terminals. Bloomberry is, ang negosyo niyan is casino. ICT is logistical, ports. MWC, Manila Water. Net worth is $5.6 billion. Ito, meron bang naka-identify?
They're saying Ayala again.
Correct. The Sobel
Okay.
de Ayala family. Siya yung may-ari ng Ayala Corporation, Ayala Land, Bank of the Philippine Islands, and the telephones that you have, Globe. They are the eighth richest in the Philippines with a net worth of $2.55 billion. Ito, meron doon sumagot?
Someone saying like C family.
Correct, that's the C siblings. This one is, let me get that, Tessie. This is Henry Jr., ito si Big Boy, no? Si Hans C, and this is Elizabeth C. This is Herbert, and this is Herbert, and this is Harley. Yan, they are the C siblings. They are the richest in the Philippines. They own SM Prime Holdings. SM Prime Holdings is their company, their holding company for their SM malls and their real estate. They also own BDO and China Bank, and they are the richest persons in the Philippines. So these are just some examples of how people make money and their companies are listed in the Philippine Stock Exchange. In fact, SM and SMPH and BDO and China Bank are listed in the Philippine Stock Exchange. Yung sina Ayala, balik tayo. Si Ayala Corporation, si Ali, si BPI at si Globe are also listed in the Philippine Stock Exchange. Enrique Razon, ICT, Bloom, and MWC are also listed in the PSE. Ramon Ang, si SMC, si San Miguel Food and Beverage is listed in the Philippine Stock Exchange. Manny Villar's Vistaland is also listed. So everybody here, the richest in the Philippines, their companies are listed in the stock exchange. Why? Because in the stock exchange, you can raise funds by going public, which comes to the next question. What are stocks? Stocks are simply shares of ownership in a company. So if you buy, for example, one share of SM, mga 900 pesos isang share, you are part owner of that company. So you own one share out of say 1 million shares. Yan, example lang po yan. Pero marami pong shares ang SM. And you also bought, say for example, Jollibee or JFC. When you buy JFC, mga 300 pesos per share po yun. When you buy one share, you are become a part owner of that company. So when you buy stocks of a publicly listed company, such as Ayala Corporation, SM, SMPH, BPI, BDO, Globe, you become a shareholder of that company. You are an owner of that company. So stocks are sometimes called shares or equities. By the way, if you have questions, you just ask. Ano? So we have two types of stocks. Ano? We have the common stock, also known as ordinary shares. Ito yung mga securities purchased. Ito yung mga stocks na mayroong voting rights. By the way, when you become a stockholder, you have voting rights if what you bought is a common stock. Meron ding tinatawag na preferred stock. Ito yung preferred as to dividend payments, pero wala siyang voting rights. Meron ding REITs or Real Estate Investment Trust. This is a company that owns or operates or finances the income generating real estate companies. They give consistent dividends. No? So if you wanted to immediately realize your earnings in the stock market, companies under the Real Estate Investment Trust give regular dividends. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng dividends? Parang yung interest when you make a deposit in the bank, you earn interest, no? Ito hindi, dividends, meaning cash dividends which they give out to the stockholders as a reward for investing or profits from the profits of the company. You are given a portion of that profit through cash dividends. So, meron din dollar preferreds sa Philippine Stock Exchange Index. Ang example po niyan ay certain. So, why do companies sell stocks? So, it's one way of raising funds. And it is one way to grow the business and to increase their capital. So when companies start selling stocks, they become publicly held companies. And when companies sell stocks for the first time, that is what you call initial public offering or IPO. So when you go public, say for example, you are a private company and you wanted to raise funds, you go to the Philippine Stock Exchange and apply for membership. And when you sell stocks for the first time to the public, initial public offering ang tawag doon. Now, where do you buy and sell stocks? In the Philippines, we have what we call the Philippine Stock Exchange. The Philippine Stock Exchange is a market where you buy and sell stocks. So, ang mga nandyan, mga publicly listed companies, no? Ngayon, yung Philippine Stock Exchange, nandyan lahat ng mga publicly held companies, pero meron ding tinatawag na Philippine Stock Exchange Index. Ano ba yung Philippine Stock Exchange Index? The Philippine Stock Exchange Index is a number derived from a basket of 30 stocks, mostly what you call blue chip companies. And the Philippine Stock Exchange Index is used as a barometer of the stock climate of the country. So, basket of 30 stocks yan. So, sino-sino ba yung nasa index? So, magbigay tayo ng isang example ng nasa index. This is a BSP or PSE website, no, Philippine Stock Exchange website. The 30 stocks in the index is Ayala Corporation, ASEN, Aboitiz, Alliance Global, Ayala Land. Ito po yung mga mahuhusay na kumpanya na nakalista sa Philippine Stock Exchange. Jollibee, Metrobank, BDO, Meralco, Metro Pacific, Pure Gold, Semirara, SM Investments, San Miguel, SM Prime, PLDT, yan yung Smart, Union Bank, Universal Robina, Wilcon. So yung 30 stocks na yan, merong mga presyo yan, no? Ito yung last traded price, and Using a certain formula, you come up with an index. Index is a number. So, punta tayo dito sa, this is the PSE index. Yan. The index now is at 6,663.88. This is the combination of the prices of the 30 stocks that composes the index. Pagka ang index ay tumataas, tumataas din, gumaganda yung economic climate natin. By the way, this is live, ha? I'm using Instagrams, and this is the index as trading goes on. So the index now is at 63.82, but during January, it went as high as 7,080. Now, what happened if there is a calamity like a pandemic? Bumababa yung index. Bumabagsak siya. So this one is March 2023. If you go back in March 2020, balik tayo sa March 2020, dito siya. March 20, we go back historically, this is March 11, 2020, the index was at 61. Pagdating dito ng March 16, the index went down to 5,035. The following day, nag-lockdown. When the PSE opened on March 19, 2 days later, the index was at a low of 4,039. Biro mo yun? Napakamura ng mga stocks. But where is the index now? Nandito na siya ngayon. Nasa 6,635 from 4,000 level. So ibig sabihin nun, it has recovered since from the time of the pandemic. Okay? So balik tayo dito. So it is a number derived from a basket of 30 stocks. And when you say blue chip, yan yung nagko-compose ng index. Why do we say, bakit? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng blue chip? Blue chip companies. Ibig sabihin ng blue chip kasi, siguro sa inyo, hindi nyo alam yung game ng poker, no? Kasi blue chip is the highest value chip in poker kasi. Pero yan, dinedenote yan ng very valuable company, and it is there during good times and bad times. The economy may go down, the pandemic may put you down, but you are still in business. Example of a blue chip company is Ayala Corporation. Tignan natin si Ayala Corporation. So si Ayala Corporation, it's a corporation which was established during the Spanish time. And when the Americans came, there was a Spanish-American War, the Philippine-American War. Then World War I came. Then the Japanese came. The Americans came, the Japanese came. And where is Ayala Corporation? They're still in business. Nagkaroon ng EDSA Revolution, nagkaroon ng panahon ng martial law, nagkaroon ng EDSA Revolution, nagkaroon ng changes in the political climate, but Ayala Corporation is still there. Yan yung example ng isang blue chip companies. And most of the blue chip companies that we are now, say, Meralco, American time yan. PLDT. PLDT is American time din established yan. They are there because they are good companies and managed well by good people. Kaya mo sinabing blue chip, they are there whether the economy is good or the economy is bad. The political situation is good, the political situation is bad. Kaya siya blue chip. They are there in spite of these things, no? So they are large companies with excellent reputation. They are financially sound with strong fundamentals. They have been operated for many, many years. They have large market capitalization, and they are a market leader. So yung examples ko dyan is Ayala, Jollibee, SM, Meralco, PLDT, Globe, BDO, Bank of the Philippine Islands, San Miguel, Universal Robina. So yan yung mga examples ng mga blue chip stocks. Ito yung mga stocks na hindi kagad umaakyat, pero hindi rin bumababa masyado. But in the long run, kikita ka pagka bumili ka ng blue chip stocks. Meron ding tinatawag na growth stocks, no? Like for example, yung mga bagong new stocks like Fruit and Converge and Merrimart. And they are relatively new with a lot of growth potential. Pero hindi sila nagbabayad pa ng dividend dahil they are placing their money, whatever their profits, in operations. We have also dividend-paying stocks, companies that pay out regular dividends. Example dyan is DM Consuming or DMC, PLDT, Globe Telecoms, and Meralco. So itong mga kumpanyang to, nagbibigay ng dividends on the stocks. Meaning, when you invest, they give part of the profits back to you. Yan. Example niyan is, bigay tayo ng magandang example. Punta tayo kay Meralco. Si Meralco, recently nagbigay yan ng dividends eh. Ito, nagbigay siya noong August 2022, 5 pesos and 81 centavos per share. But recently, it gave another one, payable on April 26, 11 and 2.8 centavos per share. The Meralco is now at 315 and 20 centavos. So ito yung mga examples na mga stocks na nagbibigay o nagbibigay ng dividendo sa kanilang mga investors. So next we have speculative stocks. Wala siyang strong fundamentals, wala siyang sustainable business model, price is comparatively low, but the volatility is high. Ito yung mga tinetrade ng mga traders na gusto nila ay fast buck. Pero pwede kang manalo dyan, pero pwede kang matalo kung hindi ka marunong. Yan. Now, there are different types of investors. No? One of them is based on your objective. So when you trade the Philippine stock market, you're either, ano ka ba, long-term investor ka ba? Or a short-term investor. Pagka long-term investor, you buy stocks because yung presyo niya, tataas. Alam mong tataas in the future. Pangalawa, bumibili ka ng stocks because the company or the stock pays dividends. And pangatlo, bumibili ka dahil alam mo yung stock na yan ay mahusay na company and that value of the company is greater than the price of that stock. Alam mo yun? Kaya dyan nakikita ni Warren Buffett, value investing yung tawag doon eh. Yung value of the stock is say 100 pesos, pero nakikita niya based on the financial statements, hindi 100 pesos ang value niyan. Ang value niyan is 200. Bibiling ko na siya ngayon dahil aakyat yan sa 200. Ganon yung value investing. Okay? Or tinatawag nating fundamentals. Ngayon, if you're a long-term investor, you hold on to the stock with a longer time horizon, so it's 3 years or more. Ngayon, pagka short-term investor, ito po yung mga stocks where you invest in speculative or growth stocks, or when you see opportunities also in blue chip companies. Ano? So you can either be a scalper, kasi when you invest, you buy at a lower price, you sell at a higher price. Ganun na ang trading eh. When you say trading, you buy at a lower, sell at a higher. Doon ka kikita, di ba? Basic business. Your selling price should be higher than your purchase price. So ganun. So you buy at a lower, sell at a higher. So scalpers, you buy at a lower, then 3 minutes later, nakita mong tumaas, bebenta mo na. Baka day trading ka, you buy during the day, before the market closes, you sell it. Ang swing trader naman, it takes days or weeks or months. You buy the stock, you hold on to the position, and then you sell it 3, 5 days later, sometimes weeks or months. Ito po ako eh. Nandito po ako. Dito ako. Ito yung classification ko. Swing trader ako eh. And position trader may take months and years. So which type of investor are you? Meron ding passive investor. Bumibili ng stocks dahil gusto niyang kumita ng dividends. And then there are some mutual funds also like UITFs. And then you have the active investor. You go to a trust department of a bank and you tell your account officer, I give you my money, you invest it the way you see fit. Ganon po. Meron pong ganon yung sa trust department ng mga banks. No? Ngayon, how do you make money from stock? One is through capital appreciation. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng capital appreciation? So, you buy at a lower price, you leave it there, then 1 year later, you sell it at a higher price. Yun ang capital appreciation. Sometimes it takes years before you sell it. You invest because you know that the stock is good. So the second one is through dividend income. So it's the earnings of a company which are distributed to the stockholders. Yung example ko nga kanina is Meralco, diba? And yung mga dividend paying stocks, cash dividend, PLDT, Globe, DMC, LTG, nagbibigay po yan ng magagandang dividendo. Ngayon, kung non-blue chip naman, GMA7 ang nagbibigay ng malaking dividendo, but it gives dividends once a year lang during April after their stockholders meeting. I'll give you an example of capital appreciation. Ito yung example of capital appreciation. No? We have Ayala Corporation, Ayala Land, BDO, BPI, and Globe. Lahat ito mga blue chip companies. February 1, 2006, ang presyo ng Ayala Corporation was 193. Almost 194. Fast forward March 1, 2023. Magkano na si Ayala? 658. Or 339% increase. Ngayon, if you compare that with March 19, 2020, ito yung pandemic. Comparing that with 2016 muna, 670. Pero nung pandemic, bumaba siya sa 394. Tapos, nung March on, umakyat ulit, 658. Or as 339% increase from this point, no, 2006. So, if you were able to buy here at 394, nag-double siya today. Okay? Another good example is BDO. 2006 ang presyo niya is 38 pesos. Ngayon, how much is it? 124. Nung pandemic, bumagsak siya to 85. And yet, if you bought at this point, kumita ka pa rin dito eh. Ang laki ng kita mo dito. Sa BPI, ganun din. Globe, ganun din. So, let's take a look at the next page. Si JFC, Jollibee Foods. 2026 or 2006, 37.50. March 2023, 238 or 635% increase. Meralco, 1273 noong 2006. Magkano ngayon? 313 or a 2,459% increase. Kita niyo yan? So you have to choose your stocks wisely. Ang downside naman yan is that may mga stocks naman na kahit blue chip siya, ay hindi tumataas masyado yung appreciation value niya, no? Say, for example, PLDT, 1865, 1318 na ngayon, or 29% depreciation. Hindi siya appreciation, nag-depreciate siya. But the rest of them, SM, URC, ang lalaki. So if you choose your stocks wisely, kikita po kayo sa stock market. Just leaving your stocks there and investing long term. So nakuha niyo? May question so far? So cash dividends. Ito yung mga distributed to stockholders out of the earnings of the company. They are given out as cash and they are declared by the board of directors. Kung common stock po yan, dinedeclare po yan ng board. No? And usually, yung mga consistent na magbigay ng dividendo is Meralco, Globe, PLDT. Ang maganda lang kasi sa PLDT, kahit ganito, nagbibigay yan ng dividends. Kaya hindi ka rin talo dyan eh. Malaki yung binibigay ng dividends sa PLDT. So yan po ang cash dividends. Meron din sila, nagdi-distribute sila ng cash dividends. Additional shares given to stockholders at no cost. So, nagde-declare ang isang company ng, say for example, a 20% stock dividend. So if you own 100 shares of Ayala Corporation, for instance, and the company declares a 20% stock dividends, 20% of 100 is 20, you're given additional 20 shares at no cost. So preferred stock, ganun din. Pero regular po yung pagbigay nila ng cash dividend. Now, some terms, no? Before we proceed with our talk, the bulls and the bears. Okay, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng bullish? Bullish, ang ibig sabihin po niyan, when you look at a chart, bullish yan. Ay, hindi, bearish ang market. Hindi, bullish market. So ano bang ibig sabihin ng bullish? Now, let me give you first an example. So let's go to, say, Metrobank. Yan. Metrobank, paakyat siya. Bullish ba yan o bearish? Ang tawag sa pattern na ito is a bullish pattern. Why? The bull. Bakit mo sinabing bullish ay paakyat? Because when the bull attacks, it attacks with its horns upward. Yung bull. So balik tayo dito. Bearish. The view that prices are going down. So bearish, kasi when the bear attacks, it attacks its prey downwards. So yung kanyang action is yung kanyang legs, ibabagsak kanya. Kaya bearish siya. So one way of telling that the market is bullish is paakyat yung stocks. So you buy stocks, when you buy stocks and hold on to it, you call that a position. But when you buy stocks because prices are going up, you have a long position. Okay? So example here is Metrobank. So nakita mo na paakyat yung market. So you will buy the stock because ang trend niya is pataas eh. So if you bought at this point, say for instance, you bought, example lang, no? November 22, the price was at 53. Metrobank was 53. So paakyat ito. Feeling ko aakyat to dahil ang maganda yung moving average. And nakatotoo yung iyong view, di ba? Napaakyat siya. And you held on to the stock and right now, it's at 60.55. Kumita ka ba o nalugi ka? Siyempre, kumita ka. And how much did you gain? Kumpitin natin. You gained 20.70% if you held on to the stock. You bought at 60 and you sold at you bought at 50, you held on to it and it's now at 61, you earned 10 pesos or a 20% profit. So ganon, ha? Ganon po yun. So bearish naman is the view that prices are going down. So an example of that is, say for example, Glow. Yan. Si Glow is, ano ito, bullish or bearish? Bearish siya. Kasi pababa yung stocks. Pababa yung presyo niya. Yung chart niya pababa. In fact, if you will draw say for example, a parallel channel. Pag ganyan, yun, di ba? Pag ganyan yung position niya. So, ang trend niya is pababa, bearish po siya. Di ba? So, that's the terms that you hear mostly from analysts, from the financial news. The market is bullish. Oh, the market is bearish. Oh, the market is dovish. Dovish, alam niyo yung dovish? Sa interest rates naman yun. When you talk about stocks, you talk about the bulls and the bears. When you talk about the interest rates or the foreign exchange, you talk about the dove and the hawk. O dovish and hawkish. Dovish meaning mababa ang lipad niya. Yung hawkish, mataas ang lipad. Meaning, mataas ang interest rates, dovish, mababa ang interest rates or bumababa ang interest rates. But since nasa stock market tayo, bullish and bearish yung term na ginagamit natin. Okay? So, how do I pick stocks to buy? There are two methods of picking stocks. One is fundamental analysis. The other is technical analysis. Magkaibang concept or magkaibang, what do you call this, method of picking stocks to buy. So, what is fundamental analysis basically? The fundamental analysis uses the financial statements, economic data, and historical financial information so that you come up with a conclusion that the company is financially sound and the company's management is good, and therefore it's a good stock or a good company to buy shares of stock. Okay? So ang data mo comes from the financial statements. Yan yung balance sheet. Yan yung income statement, basically. Okay? And then from that, you make ratios. Now, the focus is on quantitative and qualitative factors, meaning nakikita mo, may numbers ka na nakikita na fundamentally that company is sound. Ngayon, ang application mo yan is long and, well, middle to long term, meaning yung time horizon mo for investing is quite longer. No? So, mga 1 to 3 years ang tinitignan mong horizon dyan. And, ano naman yung technical analysis? Ang technical analysis naman depends on the current market psychology and investor sentiment in choosing the stock. So, ang technicals, hindi niya tinitignan, pwede niya tignan ng financial statements, pero ang main concern niya is the chart. Tinitignan niya yung price and volume, and this is a long and middle term approach, and this is used by traders. Si Warren Buffett, the fifth richest man in the world, uses fundamental analysis, and he had gained a lot in investing in stocks. Ngayon, a lot of traders use technical analysis. So let me give you an example of fundamental analysis. Kasi fundamental analysis, kailangan i-analyze mo yung financial statements. So let me share you some things from my broker. My broker does fundamental analysis kasi. So my broker, by the way, is BDO Securities. No? So one example of fundamental analysis is this one. So ito, no? Ni-release niya ito March 1 from BDO Securities. Si SM Prime Holdings. SM Prime Holdings is the real estate arm of SM. They handle the mall business, yung malls ng SM, and the real estate. No? So sabi niya dito, after examining the statement, sabi niya, we affirm buy with a higher TP. TP means target price. Then based on the study, solid mall rebound and encouraging residential trends, SMPH full year net income is 38% up to 30.1 billion in line with their estimates. Mall revenues, nakikita niyo ba? Nakikita natin.
It's a bit blurry. Yeah.
Mall revenues leading rebound on resurgent foot traffic, residential segment posting sequential improvement, action valuation, target price increased to 42, maintained by. Magkano si SM ngayon? Yan, SM is at 898 pesos. Pero ang target price niya dito, SMPH pala. SMPH. Yan, nasa 35.55. 35.55 si SM ngayon. Pero ang sabi ni Video Sec, hindi. Ang value niyan hindi 35.55. Ang value niyan ay 42 pesos. Ganun ang fundamental analysis. So, ang sabi niya, ang implied upside since 35 pesos ngayon at 42 ngayon, ang implied upside niya is 23%. Diba? So, pwede ka pa bumili until umabot siya ng 42 pesos. Yan ang fundamental analysis. Okay? Another example of fundamental analysis is this. Manila Electric Company. Meralco. Di ba? Kayo customer ng Meralco, di ba? Meron kayong meter and then you pay your Meralco bills, di ba? Ang sabi ni Videosec, keep buy on stable cash flows. Healthy dividend yields to complement returns. Meaning, yung dividend yield niya ay maganda. Nagbibigay siya ng dividend yield. So, puntahan muna natin si Meralco. Recently, nagbigay siya ng dividend at 11 and 2 centavos. 11 and 2 centavos. If you will be computing the dividend yield calculator, 11.028 divided by 315, the price of the stock, that's 3.50% ang return niya. But that is just 1 year kasi twice a year magbigay si Meralco eh. Last year, nagbigay siya noong August 581 and dito March 1022. So 581 plus 1022. Sorry, nako-compute lang tayo ng dividend yield. So last year 581 plus 1022 divided by the closing price of Meralco, say for example 300 divided by 300. Yung closing price niya yung year end. That's 5.34% yung dividend yield ni Meralco. It's one of the highest in the industry. So, anong study ni BDOSEC dyan kay Meralco? Sabi niya, maganda magbigay ng dividendo yan. And it gave 11 pesos and later in the year, magbibigay pa yan if the trend continues, no? So, sabi niya dito, yan, keep buy on stable cash flows, healthy dividend yield to complement returns, pero nag-cut siya ng target price to 429. Dati, 445 eh. Naging 429. But, there is still an upside of a 36.3%. Kasi, sabi niya, 429 ang tunay na presyo niyan. Pero Meralco is at 314.80. Tataas pa yan, sabi ni Videosec, to 4. Pwedeng tumaas pa yan at 429 or a 36% upside. So, ganun po yung fundamental analysis. No? You take a look at the financial statements. Yan po yung study ni BDOSEC. Financial statements yung tinitingnan niya. Take a look at the financial statements and conclude that the value of the company is that the price of the stock will go up dahil sabi nga nila undervalued yung stock. So, on the other hand, what is technical analysis? Yung technical analysis is taking a look at the charts. So, tinitignan mo yung charts. Pwede mong tignan yung fundamentals, pero ang main concern is the chart itself. So, one example ng technical analysis is this. Technically speaking, ito yung ABTO securities din. Ito yung kay Metrobank. Metrobank is still trending upwards. So, punta tayo kay Metrobank. Sabi niya, yan, paakyat si Metrobank. So, sabi niya dito, Metrobank is still trending upwards and is currently trading at 59.90, but it's now at 60.70, giving us a paper gain of 3%. The stock has still an 8% upside left to our target price of 53.50 that we advise to adjust your stop level to 58.50. So pagka sinabi mong technical analysis, you look at the charts. Kasi when you look at the trend, sa stocks kasi, trend is your friend. Pagka umaakyat yung market, aakyat yan. No? So gawa tayo ng, say for example, a parallel channel. Ayan ganyan yung trend niya. Paakyat. No? And the moving averages are under. Ibig sabihin, yung moving average, umaakyat. Which brings me to my next slide. In short, fundamental analysis is a measure of measuring stock value by examining the financial statements. So, analyst searches for stocks that are trading at prices that are lower than their real value. Now, if the fair market value is higher than the stock's market price, the stock is undervalued, and therefore, this is a buy recommendation. So, in the example earlier, say for instance here, yung example natin dito kay SM Prime Holdings, di ba? Reaffirm buy with a higher target price of 42. But it's now doing at 34. Ibig sabihin, aakyat pa yan, yung real value niya is 42, not 34. And therefore, the stock is undervalued. You get me? So, next we have, okay, they look at the financial statements. Ito yung ginagamit ni Warren Buffett. Now, sa technical analysis naman, ito yung trader's choice. You use charts to forecast prices, based on historical data because in technical analysis, history repeats itself. You look at trends and patterns. Trend is your friend. You buy on support, sell on resistance. So yun ang technical analysis, no? So let me give you one example of technical analysis. Say for instance, si Metrobank. Yung trend niya is paakyat. So nakikita mo yung trend niya is paakyat and therefore, alam mo na aakyat pa ang stock dahil meron siyang resistance at meron siyang support dito following the parallel channel. Ang ibig sabihin ng resistance, ito yung area, imaginary area where the stocks get rejected. Nauuntog siya doon. Pero in this case, untog niya paakyat. So dito, nare-reject siya at this point. At this point, lagyan natin ng nare-reject siya at this point, at this point, at this point. Ang tawag doon, resistance. Pero, kung yung stock nagbabounce naman at the lower level, you call that support. Ito yung support level niya. Dito, dito, and dito. So alam mo na historically, stocks get rejected at this area and bounces at this area. So what will you do para kumita? You will buy at this area, you will sell at this area. You will buy at this area, sell at this area. Buy at this area, hindi mo pa alam kung anong nangyayari doon sa kabila. And you know, because trend is your friend and the trend is upwards, you will sell at this area at a higher, di ba? So ganun ang technical analysis. So you will sell at, say somewhere here. So here, meron kang target price. Target price, na say for example, 63 pesos. You bought for example at 58, you will sell at 63. Yun. Ngayon, for example, let's do another example. Say, punta tayo sa TEL. Okay, for example, ito. Let's zoom in on this. Example, nandito pa lang tayo. So, alam mo na si TEL ay nagte-trade at this range, no? At this range. So, you decided to buy here. So, January 27, nasa 1454 si TEL. January 27. Dahil, alam mo, na trade idea mo, tataas, di bumili ka. Pero, di ba nangyari? Di ba? Ang nangyari, bumaba. Na-breach yung support level. So, this is the support, di ba? Nasa support. Pagdating dito, alam mo support level yan. Ito resistance. Resistance. So, since historically, alam mo na paakyat siya, bumili ka dito. Pero iba nangyari. What happened is it went down. So, what will you do now? Actually, when you trade, you have to have a target price, an entry price, a target price, and a stop loss price. So, ibig sabihin nun, kung akala mo aakyat pero bumaba, kailangan merong plan B ka. You should have a plan B. You should sell at your stop loss level to prevent further losses. Kasi if you held on to the stock, bumagsak lalo si TEL, di ba? So, ganun ang technical analysis. No? Basically, yan yung technical analysis. Kaya, nakikita nyo yung chart, di ba? Ayan, merong red engulfing, merong green charts. Bakit may black at saka merong green chart? Kasi, when you read charts, merong ibig sabihin yung ganyan, ano? So, for instance, here, ang black kasi, ibig sabihin yan is bearish yung bumaba, no? Equivalent to red dito eh. Yan yung red. Yan yung black dito sa PowerPoint. Yung green naman, yan yung white. Baka red yung chart. Nag-open siya at this level, nag-close at this level. Ito yung highest price niya, ito yung lowest price niya. Ngayon, pagka green naman yung chart or white yung chart, nag-open siya at this level, nag-close at this level. Meron siyang highest price at lowest price. Ngayon, when you trade the stock market, merong tinatawag na opening price and closing price. The stock market opens at 9:30, closes at 3. Ito yung Philippine Stock Market. So at opening price, a PLDT opened at 32.20. So it had a high of 13.39, which is here, but meron siyang low ng 13.19. Since the price now is higher than the opening price, then green candlestick siya. But if the price now is lower than the opening price, red candlestick yan. Yan. Ito kasi nag-open siya at 13.40, nag-close siya at 12.21, kaya red candlestick to. So nakukuha niyo, yan yung ganun pagbasa ng candlestick chart. Okay, question so far? So ganito yan, no? So this is what happened. There's an opening price, it reaches a high point, reaches a low point, then closes at this level. So since the opening price is this and the closing price is here, white candlestick siya, but then it leaves a tail. Yan, no? Yung tail niya is the highest of the day and the tail below is the lowest of the day. So, kuha nyo, yung ibig niya sabihin. So, that translates to this, yung mga candlestick charts dito. So, yun, ganun magbasa yung mga technicals, no? So, in technical analysis, you have to have a trading plan. You have to have an entry price, a target price, a cut-loss price, and your risk-reward ratio should be 1:2. Anyway, 12:28 na, Moji, siguro I
11:20.
can cut, and
Yeah.
I'm
Any
overusing
questions?
my time. Baka may mga questions sila. So can I, is it possible to hear them?
Yeah. If you have any questions, can you vocalize it with audio? Don't just type it in chat. So does
Yeah,
any,
can you,
does
kasi
anybody have any questions?
well, naintindihan nyo ba or you don't? too, too heavy to comprehend.
I think it was easy enough to understand.
Okay.
I have a
So,
question while
okay.
waiting for them to ask questions.
Sige.
Are there okay. I just want some clarification lang if like there are like real life current events that affect these either these sudden rises or dips in the stock market.
Yes.
Like what
Yes.
happened here in the January for PLDT
December 19.
or December?
December
Yeah.
19 to. Yung red engulfing candlestick to, di ba?
Yes.
This one here. Ang nangyari dyan is that nagkaroon ng news si PLDT na nag-overrun sila sa kanilang capex o capital expenditure. Nagkaroon ng overrun, meaning nag-over the budget sila. And they disclosed that in the stock exchange. Kaya bumagsak yan. Ito, yung red engulfing candlestick. Ngayon, in contrast, punta tayo dito kay BDO. Union Bank. Yan. Diba? Nakikita nyo tong mga big, nakita nyo yan?
Yes.
Mga green, 3 successive green candlesticks sa Union Bank. What is the reason there? The reason there is that Union Bank was included in the PSE index. Kasi 30 companies lang yan di ba? Every semester, nire-review ng PSE yung composition ng index. And then, may criteria kasi yan to be included. The PSE has a criteria to be included in the index. Yung capital float requirement, yung trading volume, and then UBP, or Union Bank of the Philippines, was able to reach that requirement. And therefore, in-include siya sa index. And what happened to the price of UPB? Umakyat. Kasi sabi nga natin, yung 30 company index composition is the best and the brightest here. Nandito si Union Bank. Yan, Union Bank of the Philippines. So first time niya ma-include sa index. Sa PSE index. Kaya siya nagkaganon. So that's one. Another is, tingnan natin si MBT. Yan, MBT. Steady yung akyat niya. The reason for that is that there were already reports that the company is doing good in terms of finances. So, kita nyo, nag-declare siya ng 2 types of 140 at saka 80 centavos yung dineclare niyang dividend. 220 per share. Dineclare niyang dividends. And it's one of the highest. So, dito pa lang, naamoy na ng market na maganda yung performance ni Metrobank. In fact, di ba nagkaroon ng war sa Ukraine? Nangyari kasi nagkaroon ng inflation. Tama, di ba? Rising prices. Inflation is a lot of money in circulation and prices are moving up. Now, in order to control inflation, ano ang monetary tool na kailangan doon? The BSP has to raise interest rates. Ang purpose kasi of interest rates is for the government to get the excess money in circulation and ma-arrest mo yung inflation. Now, ang nakikinabang niyan sa rising interest rates, in fact, ang term na ginagamit ng mga analysts dyan and economists, hawkish. Hawkish ang rates Na hindi siya dovish, hawkish yung rates. Dahil hawkish yung rates, ang mga bangko magtataas din ng rates. Diba? Everybody will increase their interest rates. So what will happen? The loan rates will go up, the credit card rates will go up, and the companies, kailangan good companies yung binibigyan nila ng loans, and mostly mga good companies naman yan, and therefore they get profits, larger spreads on their interest rate income. Kaya mga bangko nakikinabang dyan during rising interest rates. BDO is another example. Ayan, Market si BDO. From here, October 2022, it has been moving up. Dito nagko-consolidate lang. But the finances of BDO they have earned 55 billion in 2022. 55 billion? Ang laki nun. And BDO is the largest bank in the Philippines in terms of asset size. 3 trillion na ang assets niya. Okay? So far, yan yung kwento ng mga sa rising interest rates, bangko nakikinabang. Pero sa rising interest rate, ang natatalo dyan, yung real estate companies, yung mga Ayala Land, yan, SM, PH, hindi siya gaanong umaakyat, pero banks umaakyat siya. So, BPI.
Okay. So that's how real life events are tied in with
That's right.
the stock market.
And in
There's a
yes.
question from one of the students. Joaquin, can you voice out your question?
Hi po. Question lang po. In what cases would do fundamental and technical analysis disagree?
I think I skip a slide, no? Kaya tingnan natin, no? Kasi I have a slide on that. Pros and cons muna. Fundamental analysis tells you what stocks to buy, pero it's time consuming and doesn't tell you when to buy, no? So another pro is low risk basis, FS, and management performance. Actually, this is quantitative. Ibig sabihin, it is based on facts, financial statements. Ang technical analysis is based on historical analysis of the charts. Maaring walang kinalaman yung fundamentals dun. Pwedeng walang kinalaman ang fundamentals. Okay? Ngayon, pagdating sa technicals naman, pros and cons. Pros, it tells you when to buy or when to sell. It tells you also the market sentiment. It also can also be applied for other commodities. And the downside of that, it is subjective, no accurate patterns based on probability and not certainty. And it is high risk. Okay? Ngayon, when I do analysis of stocks, I use both technicals and fundamentals. I combine the best of both analysis, no? Kasi what happens is I try to explain kasi why there is a red engulfing candlestick. Say, example si Tel, yung question ni Teacher Mojie kanina, eto, bakit nangyari yan? Not purely technicals ang sagot dyan. Ang sagot dyan is fundamental actually. May nangyari kay PLDT, may news siya that he went over budget on their capital expenditures. And then there is also news of their litigation. Meron siyang kaso abroad di ba? So those were contributing to the negative sentiment, not purely technicals. But yung technicals kasi, strictly speaking, you just look at the charts. Yung fundamentals, you need not look at the charts. Yan yung difference between technicals and fundamentals. But when I do analysis, I use both. And I try to explain these occurrences, and this can be explained through fundamentals, not technicals. If you'll also notice, yung explanation ko kanina about the pandemic, di ba? Yun, economic event yun. It's an economic event. So if you'll go back to, say, 2020, March 2020, makikita mo yung bagsak, yan, no? Ito, this is PLDT in March 2020. Hindi mo ma-explain ng technicals yan. Ma-explain mo because of the economic situation, because what happened to our country. So, here, bumaba siya as low as 839. Biro mo, 839 si PLDT noong March. Ngayon noon, 1,339 na. So, yun, some examples of technicals and fundamentals. Some can be explained by the technicals, but some can be explained through fundamentals. But I use both. And people can make money here. Kaya dito, a lot of people bought at this point here and then sold somewhere here at this point. Kaya kailangan kung magte-trade ka, meron kang trading plan. Meron kang entry price, meron kang exit price, at meron kang plan B if your view did not come through. So, imbis na umakyat, bumaba. So, mag-cut loss ka. Diba? You sell your stock at a loss. Lugi ka. Pero, hindi ganong malaki. Maliit lang.
So does anyone have any other questions?
Yan. Can you lose money in stocks? Yes. You can lose money in stocks kasi stocks are high volatility, no guarantee of return, merong economic risk, meron kang regulatory risk, meron kang reputational risk. Pero kung marunong ka sa stock market, you will gain more than you lose. Kaya kailangan you are knowledgeable of what the stock market is, what it can give you, the risks, and the rewards. No?
Okay. One last question before we end our session for today. What would you recommend? What type of investment or what type of stocks would you recommend for first-time investors?
Okay. Kung first-time investor, kasi it depends on your budget diba? Ngayon, may mga stocks na, say for example, Kasi ito PLDT, mahal yan eh. 1,338. Siguro a budget of 1,338, ang mabibili mo dyan is 5 shares. No? Example lang. Kasi ang lot size niya is, board lot is 5 eh. Meaning that the minimum shares that you can buy at this price is 5. So 1,338 plus 5, mga 6,000 pesos. But that's just one stock. We also have here a lower priced one like Metro Pacific. Mahuhusay na stocks to. Metro Pacific's nasa 427. But the board lot, when I say board lot, ito yung minimum stocks that you can buy at this price. No? Sa 427, ang board lot niya is 1,000 shares. So the minimum shares is 1,000. So 4,270 ang pwede mong i-invest dito sa Metro Pacific. Ngayon, kung Jollibee naman, JFC, 239 si JFC eh. The minimum that you can buy is 10. So 2,039. Siguro, a combination of JFC, Metro Pacific, and Jollibee. O pwedeng Meralco if you wanted dividends, di ba? JFC, So Meralco, I would recommend Meralco, PLDT, and Metro Pacific. Ang Metro Pacific, ang negosyo niyan is hospitals, tollways, North Expressway is Metro Pacific. Meralco, power, nasa power siya, distributor, Meralco siya. Meralco is part of Metro Pacific. Hospitals, tollways, water, Maynilad is Metro Pacific. So basically, yun yung negosyo niya. Kaya lang highly regulated kasi si Metro Pacific eh. Kaya hindi siya tumataas, but they give good dividends. Ngayon lang siya tumataas eh. Dati nasa 336 yan, ngayon nasa 4 pesos na. Yun. So, all in all, the investment, minimum siguro mga 10,000, you can buy 3 stocks there na. Pero bago ka makabili, kailangan may broker ka muna. You have to go to a broker and open an account. You cannot go directly to the Philippine Stock Exchange and buy there. You cannot. You have to pass through a broker. So my broker is BDO Securities. I have both a traditional account and an online account. Traditional, you talk to a live trader, meaning a person, and tell what stocks you want to buy or sell. So online, it's do it yourself. Example is this. Ay, out na ako. So meron akong online, this is my online account in BDO Sec. So yun, you have to open a broker's account. Bagal lang masyado eh.
You can X that the one in the waiting room.
Okay.
That's for the next class.
Yeah. So this is my broker's nag-expire na yung broker's account yung session ko. But anyway, that's my online account. No? And that's where I get the information on meron siyang reports, company digest. That's where I get the fundamentals. Yan, galing ng online broker to yung equity research nila, SM Investments, and then Meralco. And then this one, their daily digest about the news. Kasi they are more on fundamentals than technicals. So, news for the day. And then they have here a summary of their recommended stocks. No? Mostly mga blue chip to, mga nasa index. So, yan, nandiyan si ASEN, Ayala Corporation, Ayala Land, their target price, and the upsides by more or less. So that's my broker.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let's end the session here. I'm going out of focus mode so we can all see each other.
That was my talk on the introduction to the Philippine stock market. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This is Benji Chodoro. Until the next episode, thank you and God bless.